What's up, good people? It's NQ Soccer Mom, and today is Wednesday. This is the hump day. 2 more trading days left after today, and this week is over. So, I just wanted to give you guys an update on the Lucid Flex series. Well, how do I put this? Let's just say yesterday, due to a catastrophic psychological failure on my part, I did have to pivot. So as you can see from my screen now, I do not have any Flex accounts anymore. Actually, I think I like the Black accounts better. The Black accounts are a little bit more expensive than the Flex accounts, and so were the Pro. The Pro were a little bit more expensive as well. However, I did not like the Pro accounts, but I think the extra $10 or so for me is worth it on the Black account. So for those of you who are not familiar, the Lucid Black accounts still pass in a 2-day minimum situation, but instead of 50% consistency, there's 60%. So you can make a little bit more on your first day and just make the rest on the second day. So for my 2 accounts, you can look and see I have $750 profit on one, $749 profit on the other. So that is about roughly 60% of the $1250 target. So I think for both accounts, I would need about $500 in order to pass these accounts. But that part I really don't care that much about. I had no problem with the 50% consistency. That was no issue. What I like better about the Black account is the 3-day trading requirement in the funded as opposed to the 5-day trading account. And also what I like better is not having the 50% profit. So with the Flex account, you could only take 50% of your profit. So in order to make $1,000 or to make a $1,000 request, you would have to earn $2,000 in profit. Whereas with the Lucid Black, the 50% is out of the door. So with the Lucid Black, it's, let's see, if you earn $1,250, you get $750. So you can get a higher percentage of your profits as opposed to the 50%. The 50% just makes it seem a little bit grueling. You know, it's like you're working so hard just to get half. And honestly, that wasn't bad. And I know Top Step has a similar protocol as well. But when you have a $500 minimum request, you know, you have to get 1,000 just to get 500, then I don't know. Plus, you have the 5 days. 5 days, I think, at $100 a day for the 25K account. Whereas this, I'm not sure. I don't even know if you have to have a certain minimum day, but I think it's just across the board 40%. You can't get more than 40%. So for these 25K accounts, the target is $1,250 and 40% is $500. So I can literally do $500 the first day, $500 the second day, and $250 the next day, and boom, I'm at payout, just like that. I find for myself having a particular goal that gets me to payout, I think I work better that way. I've always done really well with the per dia accounts. The per dia accounts, the initial phase of that funding process is 200 a day, 200 a day, 200 a day. And I think I did really well with that. So I think if I focus on a very detailed process And in this case, it's, maybe 250 or 500 a day, something like that. If I can get it, of course. If I can't get it, then base hits all the way. Base hits all the way for what I can get and then shut it down. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I think I like these accounts better. I still have my Flex accounts, or I still have probably a couple maybe that I could go back and reset if I ever want to. I'm sure I have at least two, maybe one or two Flex. Okay, so basically I just have two of the Flex accounts that I could go back and reset for, let's see, I don't know, $60. They went up on that. So the reset fee for the Flex account is now higher, but it's still significantly less than the Black account. I think even for the Black account, the reset fee is $76 maybe right now. I know the sale is going on, so it may be higher later. So, but so far, I think I like the Black accounts. So, yeah, yesterday was rough. So it was, I needed time to process what happened, but also I did have a doctor's appointment yesterday, so I wasn't able to get the recap video out, but it was kind of good because, I wasn't in the best headspace. But let's look at the chart and do a little chart review. Y'all know the story for today. Y'all, I have learned my lesson. Do not trade when Trump is talking. If you do trade when while Trump is talking, then size way down. You maybe one mini, maybe two. I'm sorry, one micro, maybe two. But I learned my lesson big time today. Do not trade heavy when he's talking at all. And you need to know what the news is. You need to know if Trump is talking. So you need to trade with some type of, I don't know if it's a stream or something, where you'll be informed if Trump is talking or if news is coming out. All right, so today was an awesome day of price action. It was really good. I wish I had more accounts to trade, but I don't. I only have two. So, all right. So right off this morning, we noticed we already had this double bottom here. So we were kind of looking at this level. We never got back to it. Okay, where is the open? Okay, here's my open. So let's see. Here's our 8:30 right now. 8:30 candle. This was our first 5-minute candle right here. Up on that 5-minute candle, we did make a new high. That new high did give us a demand zone. So basically, if we make a new high, that means we break major structure. I follow that down and find that red candle. So find the red candle where the buyers felt that price was such where they wanted to start buying. So that's the idea of that. And you find that at the red candle. And so you make that zone based on the red candle. Of course, price came back through it again with this green candle. So that's how I made the zone. All right. That's neither here nor there. We kept going. We hit the high. We barely tapped the high, broke that structure, came down again. It was choppy through here, but we have this nice long stem right here through our 20 and 21 moving averages. So that was nice. That was a wonderful trade right there. And it coincides with this demand zone. Barely tapped it, the demand zone, but either way, the entry would be the same based off this beautiful hammer candle right here with the bottom and tail. And this is on the 5-minute chart. So I trade my supply and demand setups from the 5-minute chart anyway. And I am moving towards the 5-minute chart for analysis and taken setups as well. So literally, this is the type of setup we're looking for. This trade gave $1,600 for one NASDAQ mini contract. $1,600. So $161 per micro contract. So that would have been great for me. And then along the way up, that's just a 1-to-1. Obviously, you got 1-to-2 as well. But for me, I would have gotten out of the initial trade and then just look for little mini pullbacks near this 9 EMA, which we're respecting. We got some nice hammer candles that came near the 9 EMA. So that's the way I would play that. We just broke structure, kept breaking the high all the way up. And then, eventually we came all the way down. So on the 5-minute chart, my next entry would be here. Didn't really give me just an entry per se off of a moving average or anything on the 5-minute chart. So I'm sure I will get in there at some point and just take it from level to level. And for me, that would be like from moving average to moving average. It's like, okay, I see we're breaking below yesterday's high. That's what this line is. Okay, I can take that to the 20 moving average. Okay, I can take that to the overnight open. Okay, now we're below the overnight open. We're below the 21 moving average. So let's see, I can take that down to the, I don't even remember what this one is anymore. Let's see, what is this? I think it's the 50. Yeah, that's the 50. Take that to the 50. Okay, now let's take that to the 100. Okay, let's take that to the 200. So that's the way I trade. I use the moving averages as levels. And let's see, what else? Okay, and now let's take that to, let's see, what is this? Is this the prior day low? I think that's the prior day low. This little blue line was the original range of the bottom range of our 5-minute candle. This gold line right here, I think, is the prior day overnight open. Let's see, what is that? Oh no, that's the current. That's the current open. That's the current open. So that would have been last night's open. This one must have been the prior day. Okay, yeah, that was the prior open. All right, so here we're already at 11 o'clock Central, 12 o'clock Eastern time. We got choppy, but we did make our way back up to the 21-20 moving average and the 50. So that gave us a nice entry with the easy 1-to-1. We came back down and we hit this again. So we could have taken that back up as another trade back. And I think after this, we get a little bit too choppy and it's lunchtime. So it's quitting time. So that's just a little chart review. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody had a great day of price action. So I'm already talking to myself, cautioning myself for tomorrow. We've had, a few days of really good price action. Even Monday, the holiday, wasn't bad price action. And after today, even though I'm a little bit leery with the president talking all the time, and I've learned to be very, very cautious with it. Overall, I mean, look at it. It does provide beautiful price action. You just have to be very, very careful. But so I am going to be cautious tomorrow because we've had such good price action. Things might be a little bit more choppy. So I just don't tend to think, okay, we're going to have just days and days in a row of really good price action. So just something to consider. All right, thanks for joining me. Do me a solid. Please hit the likes and hit the subscribe. See you next time.